Welcome to the third day of machine learning using TensorFlow. It already has been 2 days that we have been learning. We have been learning the new concepts of machine learning and deep learning. And today is the most awaited day, the final day. And it's very special because we have with us our speaker, Ms. Usha Rangraju ma'am with us. Welcome to the session, ma'am. We are really honored to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be part of the event, and I also appreciate all the organizers and you for putting together the great session. I could see the comments and the notebook and all that. It's a fantastic initiative which you've taken, and it's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. Start. We are actually. I don't know what I should be saying. It was for me specifically. It's like a dream come true moment. So that I'm able to interact with you, and that you will be able to share with us your journey and about the session, like how we should get started with Kaggle. So we are really excited about it. So moving forward, I would like to say about you, I would like already, like everyone over here who is present, they already know about you, but like I would like to add on that ma'am over here, she is the first, she is the world's first 2x woman Kaggle grandmaster. She has led 8 communities in Bangalore and Mysore. She is the principal data scientist at MUST Research. And like if I go on counting all the achievements he has made, it's never going. I can say it will be taking more 15 minutes. So yeah, so you must have you guys must have understood by now how much honored we are to have ma'am with us. So yes, ma'am. Now you could take over the session and uh, enlighten us.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. And again, once again, I appreciate the great efforts which you have been taking. I'll share my screen now.
Yes, ma'am.
This is, yeah, the slides has already been shared, the slides for today's session.
Yeah,
So,
ma'am.
yeah, I'll also once again put it in the chat window. So, just in case if people want to view the slides. And yeah, so today's session is going to be about getting started with Kaggle. So, you can on if you do not have a Kaggle account, you can just go to www.kaggle.com. You can click on sign in with your Google account, or register for. If you do not have an account already, you should first register with your Google. If you already have a Gmail ID, it's just a click of a button. You can register with your Gmail ID and your Kaggle account is created. So the moment you create your Kaggle account, you will be a novice, and the first step is to become a contributor. You can also go and follow my profile. This is my profile, and you can also go. I'll have put it in the chat window. You can also click on my profile, and I'm also organizing some TensorFlow workshops, which will be advanced TensorFlow workshop. Just in case, if you want to be part of those workshops, you can actually follow me on Twitter. Because I'll be notifying about the workshop in Twitter. So this is my Twitter profile. So just in case, if you want to be notified of all the advanced workshops in TensorFlow, you can follow me on Twitter. And I'll be continuously writing a lot of notebooks in TensorFlow, which might be beneficial to you. So don't forget to follow me on Kaggle. So if you just go to my profile, you will have follow users. You can click on follow users. You will be notified whenever it will be in your feed whenever I write a notebook. I've recently written a notebook in TensorFlow. So this is about the recently released features like Keras preprocessing layer. Google had incorporated Keras preprocessing layer into TensorFlow last November. So I had written an article about it. TF data, there is not much of articles which explains TF data in a easy manner. So I've explained TF data in a very easy manner. I'll by the end of the session, I'll also walk through this notebook. So this is a notebook which I had written recently, and so this is also something which I'll be covering. So I'm also writing one more research paper implementation next week. So if you want to be notified of all those things, then follow me on Kaggle. Automatically the notifications will come to you. And for the workshops in TensorFlow, follow me on Twitter. So at you, Rangaraju, and you'll be like notified whenever there's workshop on TensorFlow. So I organized TensorFlow's user group, Mysuru, and we are also going to have a Kaggle competition similar to the one which you are having. But that Kaggle competition, the swags will be sponsored by the TensorFlow US team. And so we will be similar to whatever you are organizing. The TensorFlow user group also will have swags sponsored by the US Google developers team, and the top 3 winners will get swags. So it's called Olympiad, ML Olympiad. The entire program is called ML Olympiad, I think, similar to one organized by a GDSC. But we'll be launching it only in Feb. So best wishes for all of you for the hackathon, which is organized by Google Developer Students Club of your university. And now let's get started with the session today. How to get started with Kaggle the right way, and how to achieve a lot in Kaggle at short time. So once you create an account in Kaggle, you'll see a lot of sections here: competition, data sets, code, discussion. So most of you have attended the first 2 sessions, which means you are already familiar with the basic machine learning and all this, and TensorFlow, solving data set, using ML, and all these you're familiar with. Just in case if there is anybody out of you who's not comfortable with those topics, then Kaggle has it sorted for you. You have something called courses section, where you have a lot of courses from, ranging from basics to advanced, like, reinforcement learning. You also have basic Python to reinforcement learning. You have also very specific courses like feature engineering and all that. And all of these courses are free, and you can also earn a certificate of completion upon finishing these courses. So Kaggle courses are a great way, just in case if you are from a non-computer science background, and if you want to, I would say, is Kaggle courses sufficient if you ask me to solve for your job or something internship? I would say it may not be sufficient. What Kaggle courses is sufficient is to get started. What is a minimum number of technical skills and things you should know to get started with Kaggle competitions? That is covered in Kaggle courses. But Kaggle courses is more of hands-on oriented course. So for example, you take the first course, Python, it's more of hands-on. It's not a lot of theory. It's more of hands-on. So for everything you have an exercise, and the tutorial itself is more of hands-on. And so it's like a very short micro courses. So it's not like completely sufficient if you're like targeting some internship interviews or this. They might ask you a lot more questions as well. So this is just sufficient basic micro course, just enough to get started with Kaggle competitions. So once you are done with Kaggle courses, just in case if you're not very comfortable with your basic skills, it's a good way to brush up, and you also have some certificate of completion as well, which you can put it in your LinkedIn. And outside that, you also have the progression system in Kaggle. So the moment you would have, if you do not have an account already, I'll repeat it once again, go to sign in, register you have. You can register using your Gmail ID. I'm sure every one of you here has a Gmail ID. So just register with Gmail ID. It will just take 2 minutes and done. You have a Kaggle account. So just do that, just in case if you don't have. So the moment you create an account, you will be a novice. That is, you've just registered. How to become a contributor? You need to run a notebook script, and then you need to make one competition submission, and you need to make one comment and one upload. To make a competition, make one comment. You can just go to any, click on code section here, take any of the notebook, go through it, and if you really like that notebook, then you can just for example, this is a notebook which I'm opening, and I think the person has used AutoGluon and AutoML software to do the heart failure prediction. Go through the notebook, and if you really learned something from notebook, as a token of appreciation, you should upload it. So that way you will be encouraging other Kagglers. The same way, other Kagglers, when you write a notebook, and if it is very good, they'll appreciate it by putting an upload. So this is how you upload. There is a triangular button. This, when you click on it, you upload it. And this is one upload, which is a mandatory step to become a contributor. And to give a comment, what you should do is you should go and click on the comment section. And if you feel you learned something, so Vahide Dashishi is, you did a very well EDA. Thanks for introducing autocomment. So you can just write a comment and click on post comment your comment is. So that way you would have finished two steps. Make one comment, give one upload. Both of these steps are done. And you need to run one notebook or script, and which is very easy. I'll tell you how. And make one competition submission. These two steps is something which I'll cover now. So if you want to run a notebook script, you can take any notebook. So you can just click on code section. There is a code section. Click on code section. Click on new notebook. So there are several sections here. Click on code section. Click on new notebook. This is how you create a notebook. So when you create a notebook, create a meaningful name. So I'll give GB, Yesi. So this is Google Developer Students Club. Bhuvaneshwar. So this is you write, give meaningful account. What is the notebook which you're going to write? Give meaningful name based on what you're going to write. So here I'm just giving a demo for this workshop. So I'm giving GDG, but whatever, if you're, whether it's a heart rate failure prediction, or you're solving bits datathon, or tomorrow you will have a challenge, starting Kaggle challenge hosted by your schools, universities, GDSE team. So, give a meaningful name for the notebook which you are writing. So, for example, I had written a notebook here, which is so this is my notebook. So this is I had given. So the notebook, which I'll be also walking you through this notebook a little while. I'll share the link to this notebook in the chat window. You can check out the chat window for this notebook. So this is in TensorFlow, which is relevant for the machine learning competition, which is going to be hosted to you. So I've written TensorFlow because this is a TensorFlow tutorial. So the important concepts which I'm covering is tf.data and Keras preprocessing layer. So if you see Keras preprocessing layer, the Google I/O team recently released a blog on Keras preprocessing layer. So I had converted that blog into a notebook. So, and I'm also using tf.data, how to take a data set and convert it into tf. So I had given tf.data plus Keras preprocessing layer. And I'm also using WAN-B, weights and biases for integration. So I put WNB. So you can give some meaningful name, whatever you're doing based on what you're doing. And once you give a meaningful name, you can add the data set. So for example, for this particular competition, I'm using the Tabular Playground series. So you can add any data set, you have a lot of data set. Whatever competition you want to write the notebook, you can, or you have your own data, you can also upload it to the thing. There is an option to upload. If you have a local data in your desktop and you want to upload it, there is an option to upload it as well. Or if you want to use some data sets already there in Kaggle, you can type the name. For example, TPS Jan. If I just type the name TPS here, it's showing me all the TPS things. So I have TPS October 21, but you want, so you can also, if it's a competition data set, you click on competition data set and you'll get all the active competitions. And now it is Tabular Playground series. This is the competition which I want. I just have to click add. The data will automatically be added. So to add a data set, click on add data. If you want to do competition data set, click on competition tab and you can scroll around, choose the competition data which you want. Or if you have your own data set, then you can also upload it to Kaggle and then add it to your notebook. So whatever works for you. I'm just putting a print statement here. So Python and all that is already installed for you. I'm putting a print statement, Kaggle notebook demo. So this is a Kaggle notebook demo. So you just have to click on play button and you will so you can write whatever code you want relevant for the data set which you are using. And then you can use this button to click. What if you have lot of code and you just want to run it at a single go? you have an option to click on run on. What if you want to generate comment cells? You can click on, if you just hover over your mouse, you will have an option code and markdown. Code will create code cells and markdown will create markdown. So I'll say is comment section. You can write any meaningful relevant comment for your notebook. And so this is how you create notebooks, and you add comments and code cells and all. And you also have an option to run all, run before, run selection. For deleting a cell, you have an option. For deleting anything, deleting cell, or you can also cut cell, whatever you want you can do. And you can create markdown and code cells from the top, tab at the top as well. And you have other options the moment you're running, and if a CSV file is getting generated while your editor is open itself, you can submit the CSV file using the submit option here. And you can also schedule your notebook run. You're going to write a notebook now and you want it to be run only next month. Why do we have such a use cases? See, for example, if you're working on a time series data where you're working with data which is you want to forecast your electricity consumption, and your data set will get generated every day on a daily basis or weekly basis. In that case, you want to run it at the end of every month and see how your model is performing. You can schedule your notebook runs as well. You can also add it to GitHub as well. There is feature to add your thing to GitHub. So and upgrade, so link to GitHub, you can link it to your whatever notebooks you create in Kaggle, you can link it to GitHub as well. And if you feel like the Kaggle gives you only 20 hours of TPU and 30 hours of GPU, if you feel that is not enough, and if you want to use GCP credits, if you have, and if you want to use it, you can also upgrade to Google Cloud AI notebooks as well. So you can also change a couple of languages, Python and R. For you, editor type, you can either, if you prefer the script style mode, you can change to script style mode and things like that. So these are basic features of a notebook and what all you can do with the notebook. So the main thing is accelerator. By default, you have CPU. You can also use GPU and TPU. Be mindful that GPU, you have only 30 hours of GPU, and TPU, you have only 20 hours. And so be mindful of these free features which you get. And once you're done with all of it, you can make your notebook. You can click on save version, and you can do a quick save that will not use much of your compute power. It will just save whatever you had written. But if you want to run and commit, then you can use save and run on, which is a commit version. So these are two options which are available. Either you can do a quick save, which will just save it. But if you want to save and commit, then you can do save and run all option. There is also advanced options here, whether you want to save your output or you don't want to save your output, or just saving only for this version. Here you can choose the accelerator which you want to use. And also these are the notebook option. Notebook is one of the most important feature in Kaggle. And so these are some of the important features which you need to know. And to be able to become a contributor, you need to run a notebook. So now we have finally come to the stage where we have to run a notebook. Click on save version and click on save, and you will be able to run your notebook. Your notebook is getting queued. In a minute, it will finish running. Once you'll get this automatic pop-up at the bottom left side of your notebook pane, which will tell you how many notebooks you're running and whether it is successful run or not, whether anything has failed, and all these details will be captured in the notebook pane. So to become a contributor, we have finished upvote and comment, and you have final thing to become a notebook, and you have to run a script. So that is what we are doing right now. So it has failed. Now you can just open in a viewer and you can see why it has failed. Okay. So in a code cell, I had written comment. So that's why it has failed. So I had an error which I rectified. Now I'll click on save and run all, and I'll commit it once again. And if I want to dismiss this failed option, I can click on dismiss, and that will go off. Now I'm once again running the notebook. It had an error. I had put a comment in a code cell. Now you have a notebook ready. That's it. You're finished running. So this step is also over, which is like you have finished running a notebook or script. I'll give you 1 minute time for you to complete this notebook demo. And once you have completed it, we'll move on to the next thing, which is how to make a competition submission. Once you have completed the notebook thing, please put done in the chat window so I'll get to know like if you've completed it or not. And if you want me to repeat how to run a notebook, you can put repeat in the chat window. If you're not able to follow and you want to, this particular notebook creation to be repeated, you can put repeat. Or if you've completed the notebooks, you can put done in the chat window. Okay, I'll repeat it. One of the student has asked me to repeat it, and so I'm going to repeat it. So you have the Kaggle window here, and you have something called code here. All of you click on this code option. So in the Kaggle window, if you click the code option, so you will have an option to create new notebook. So click on code here. This is the main window of Kaggle. Click on code. You have an option to click on new notebook. Click on new notebook. So once you click on new notebook, give a meaningful name here. Just giving any name, BB, Yesi, Odisha, Demo. You can give any name. This is some random code which is getting generated. I don't want it, so I can cut this cell. And I'm just going to write a basic print statement in Python, demo. Give a meaningful name and write a basic print statement here. So here you have draft session off. So you need the draft session, you need green color signal here. Only then your notebook is ready to run. So if it is gray, then you click on the start button. It will start the draft session for you. Open the notebook and then give a meaningful name, create a code cell. And if you're having draft session as gray, then you need to click on the start button so it becomes green. Only if it is in green color, it means your notebook is ready to run. So you write a basic print statement, print a demo, and then click on run cell. This is how you run your notebook. It's similar to Colab. And then click on save version. You have save and run all. Once you have written a simple print statement and your draft session is green in color, just in case if it is in gray, you click on the start button, it will become green. You have a save version option. Click on that save version option. There is an option called save and run all. Click on the save and run all. This is how you run your notebook. And once you click on that, here it will show you the queue, your notebook queue. So your notebook GDSC Orisa demo is running just now and version 1 is running. It is showing it's still running, and once it is completed, it will put successful. If it is failed and if you have an error, you will get failed. So I created a simple notebook with just one print statement, and I'm getting notebook successful. Open in a viewer, and now your notebook will be ready, finish running. This is how you run notebooks. How many of you have completed this step? Put completed in or done in the chat window. So Abrar Ahmad Khan has completed, Lakshman completed. Good. So most of you have done this step. So to become a contributor, you need to run one notebook, and that is what we are dealing right now. So to do that, you need to go to Kaggle, and there in the Kaggle section, you have something called code. Click on code, and you have something called new notebook. Click on new notebook. A notebook window will open. Give a meaningful name. Give any meaningful name. Write a single line of code, print demo. Similar to Colab, there is a play button which you need to click. The code will run. Click on save version, and there are two options. Click on the first option, which is save and run on, and save it. Your notebook will start running, and you will get a thing, it is running here. And once it's successful, it will get successful. If you have any errors in the notebook, it will come failed, and then you have to see what is the error and rectify it. So this is basically a notebook queue. This is how you run your notebook. But there are a lot of features in your notebook which you need to understand in addition to how to run a notebook. The first feature is you can link your notebook to the GitHub using this link to node GitHub feature. If you click on link to GitHub feature, you can link your notebook here. So sign into your GitHub and authorize Kaggle, you will be able to link to your GitHub. You can also schedule your notebook, which means you can write the notebook today, and if you want it to run at the end of every month, you can also schedule your notebook at whatever frequency you want, daily or weekly or monthly. So linking to GitHub is one feature, scheduling your notebook is another feature, and you also have an option to add data. Whether you want to add competition data, click on this competition data tab. There is an add button, click on it. You can also add your own data sets which you can upload and create a data set, add it. So three features we have seen so far. First one is linking to your GitHub. Second one is scheduling a run. You can schedule your notebook to be run every day or weekly or monthly. Third feature is you can also add data to your notebook, which either it could be a competition data or it could be your own data set. So these are three features which we saw. And in addition to that, few things which you need to know about is you can write Kaggle notebooks either in Python or R. Whatever language you want, you can choose. And accelerator is you have CPU, GPU, and TPU. You have only 20 hours per week TPU and 30 hours per week GPU. And by default, unlimited CPU you have. So this is what is the Kaggle features which you need to know. And to save commit data, you have an option. If you just want to simply save, you click on quick save, and if you want to save and commit, you put save and run on. So there are a couple of features. And also you have advanced setting options where you can save the output or you don't have to save the output. Here you can choose the accelerator as well. So you have advanced setting options which you can explore as well. These are the basic concepts which you need to know about creation of notebook. So to become a contributor, you have to make a comment, give an upvote, and run a notebook. We have finished third step. The fourth step is making one competition submission is what we're going to deal next. So to create and you can just click on code here. You will have lot of notebooks coming, and you can choose any notebook, whatever notebook. You can choose any notebook. For example, I'm choosing this notebook. This is about forecasting crude oil value. I like this notebook, so I'm just going through it and learning from the notebook. Once I've learned from the notebook is very good because the person has written very detailed notebook. As a token of appreciation, since I learned a lot from the notebook, I'll put a quote. Similar, you are just appreciating the work of someone. The same way, when you write such detailed notebooks, other person, the community members, if they learn something from it, they'll come and upvote. And once you upload, you can also, if you find any mistakes in that notebook, or if you want to just give a word of encouragement, you can give comments, which you can just go to comments tab, write a comment, and post the comment. So these two are one mandatory steps to become a contributor. So the final step is how to make a competition submission. which is what I'll be covering too. This is going to be very important for the hackathon which you're dealing with. And so this is what I'm going to do now. Now, this is the Tabular Playground series. Go to this competition. If you're already a contributor, it's a great thing. Tabular Playground series, you can click on the code option. You can filter based on the best score. So this is one notebook which is there. You can filter based on best score. Go to the, I'll share this notebook in the chat window. I'm sharing this notebook. This is the most important step for you for the Kaggle competition which you're participating. I've shared this notebook link in the chat window. This is the current best scoring notebook. So I've shared this notebook in the chat window. Please check. And when you go to the data tab, you will have a submission.csv file. Click on the submission CSV file. The notebook link is shared in the chat window. Please check. And when you click on the data tab, you have a submission.csv file. Click on that file. And you can download the CSV file by using this download icon here. You can download the CSV file. So I've shared the notebook link in the chat window. So click on data tab. You have a submission.csv file. Click on the download icon here and you'll be able to download the data set, the CSV file. And once you do that, so download the CSV file under the data tab. There's a CSV file output, CSV file submission.csv file. Download it. Once you download it, this is the Tabular Playground series competition, which is for absolute beginners. And so click on this competition link is shared in the chat window as well. So when you click on the Tabular Playground competitions under My Submissions, you can also click on the Submit Predictions option. When you click on the Go to Tabular Playground series, the first thing which you need to do is accept the rules. When you click on submissions, you will have an option where join the competition. So the first option which you do is join the competition, accept the rules and join the competition. Any competition in Kaggle, you have to first join the competition to make a submission, accept the rules and join the competition. Once you do that, click on Submit Predictions. There will be a window which is open like this. Click on the CSV file which you downloaded, which is submission file, upload it.
Excuse me, ma'am.
So it will take some time. Once the blue color option, it means progressing. Once it is complete, you will be getting it like this. So upload CSV, click on this upload files icon and upload the CSV file which you just downloaded. And then click on make submission. That's it. This is how you will make a submission to competition. With this, you should have completed all the 4 steps, and from novice, you would have become a contributor. So these are some of the 4 steps. The reason why they have kept these as the basic steps is because they want you to get familiarized. They want you to understand how to create a notebook in the platform, how to make a competition submission, how to appreciate the work of others. And these are things which you should understand, the basic minimum of knowledge. That's why they've kept these 4 steps as to become a Kaggle contributor. Once I think for the hackathon which they are conducting, you should also know how to make a submission. So I've shared one notebook in the chat window. If you go to the data tab, under output, you will have submission CSV file. When you click on the submission CSV file, you will have a download icon which you can download. The submission CSV file will be downloaded. And you can click on the Tabular Playground series competition, which I've shared again in the chat window, which is for Jan 2022. When you click on first thing you should do in a competition, you should join the competition after accepting the rules and regulations. After that, when you click on submit prediction option, there will be a tab which is open where it will you have an icon where you can choose a submission file which you just downloaded. Once the file is completely uploaded, you can click on make submission and you would have made. Per day for this competition, always go to the rules and check out how many submissions you can make a day. So the maximum team size is 3 and you can only make 5 entries per day. And so check out the rules and regulations for your competition. So this is how you will make a competition submission. So we've discussed the competition section. So one advice which I would suggest if you're a complete beginner is start with the knowledge based competitions which has lot of notebooks for you to explore and get familiar with Kaggle, and then go for prize money competitions. At least spend some, if you're a complete novice or a beginner, spend somewhere between 10 to 15 days to explore these knowledge based competition which does not award ranking points or medals. So you can explore, for example, Titanic is the first competition everyone comes, and it's a classification problem. When you click on the code tab, you have like more than 10,000 notebooks, so you don't have to know anything in advance. You have lots and lots of notebook for you to get comfortable with the data set. Once you're very comfortable with the codes and going through, then you can get started with a regression problem which is house price prediction. So once you finish all these knowledge based problems, you will be very comfortable for competing in Kaggle, and then you can move on to the prize money competitions or the competition which gives medals. So if you have any doubts, the Kaggle community is very active. You can go to the discussion tab, create a post and ask your doubt. Then most likely, if it's a very good doubt, then most likely you will get a response from the Kagglers. So this is how you, competition sections. You first start, if you're an absolute beginner, start with knowledge competitions and then get started with prize money competition. There is a women in data science competition which is hosted by Kaggle, and this is a Stanford University initiative which is happening currently for 2 months, and you have prizes as well. Although this is a community competition, you have prizes. You have prizes for the Kaggle leaderboard prizes, and you also have research award prizes. So you have like around $25,000 in prizes itself. So it's a good opportunity. The 50% all can be women, and but 50% has to be women if men are participating. So men cannot participate solo, but women can participate solo or in a team. All can be women. But men, if you want to participate, 50% has to be women because this is a women and data science initiative. And this is a competition. I've written a starter notebook for you to get started, just in case if you're very much interested in participating in this competition. I've written a complete end-to-end baseline starter to help you get started. So do go and check it out. So my screen was freezed. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible, but the thing is, it is getting fixed for some moment, and I guess my voice was also not audible to you a few minutes
So is
ago.
my screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible, but if you're like while moving to another part, it is like taking some time. That transition period, that stays so actually. It's now visible.
Do
Women in
let me know
data
if my
science.
screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible now.
So I've been telling about the women and data science competition. So this competition is a Stanford University initiative. So this is a women in data science competition. I'll share the link in the chat window as well. So this is a Stanford University initiative, and the hackathon happens for 2 months, and you have like cash prizes worth $25,000 and to win. And there are not many participants. There are only 151 teams. And I've also written a starter notebook for you to get started. This is the starter notebook. The starter notebook is here. So just in case if you're participating in a complete end-to-end solution, I've also prepared a video which I'll share at the end of the session. So this is a good opportunity for you to participate. But 50% has to be women if men are participating, but women can participate solo or all of them in a team can be women as well. So it happens for 2 months, and so you have a lot of time till February end. So you can all form teams and participate in that competition. And there is some competition called Tabula Playground Series, which happens every month. So if you're a complete beginner and if you feel intimidated by prize money competitions, then you can go for Tabula Playground Series. It happens every month. For January, the competition has already started. And I have also written again a very basic starter notebook explaining TensorFlow. So if you go here, I've explained TensorFlow because this is a TensorFlow session. It might be more relevant for you to go through this. And I've also covered some of the recently released features in TensorFlow as well. So I've covered something like I've used tf.data. There are not many articles which covers tf data in a very easy to understand way. So I've covered how to create a tf.data set. What is tf.data with nice diagrams and illustrations. It might be very useful for you for if you're an absolute beginner in TensorFlow. And I've also created explained the concepts of Keras pre-processing layers, how to create pre-processing layers for numerical features, how to create pre-processing layers for categorical features. And I've also gone down and explained how to create your own custom loss function. So for this competition, if you see, there is a custom loss function called SMAPE. And so I've also created elaborate explanation on how to create this. Notebook is work in progress. I'm still working on the notebook. But this is a basic idea. The notebook aims to explain TensorFlow in a very, very easy to understand manner for even the absolute beginner. So I've written this notebook. If you're an absolute beginner in TensorFlow, maybe you can go and check this notebook out. And once again, share the link in the chat window. Please do check it out. And so this is about the competitions, data sets, code, and discussions. If you have any feedback for Kaggle, you can go to the product feedback and you can share your feedback. Or if you have any competition specific feedback, you can click on the competitions. And if you have any discussion doubts, you can click on new post and create new topic. If you create, you can create a discussion post as well. So these are the main things like data sets, code, and discussion. These are the four main building blocks of Kaggle. In addition to that, there are community guidelines. Be kind and polite to everyone in Kaggle. And one more thing is, please spend a lot of time going through the community guidelines. Don't have multiple accounts in Kaggle, which is not illegal. And sometimes Kaggle only removes who people who have illegal accounts only at the end of the competition. So you would have invested like 3 months in a competition. At the end of the competition, if Kaggle finds you've used two accounts, then you will be removed from the competition, although if you win a medal. So be mindful of these rules and go through the Kaggle community guidelines. And in Kaggle, you're not supposed to do private sharing outside your team. So if you share solutions and discuss it outside your team, that is also illegal and you will be removed from the competition. So these are basic rules which you need to be aware of. There are a lot of people who get started with Kaggle and they have multiple accounts and they also get silver medal, bronze medal, and finally they're removed from the competition and they lose the position just because they had two accounts. So please be careful about it and don't share your solutions outside of your team members, which is illegal. And even for that, you will be removed from the leaderboard. So please pay attention to these rules and regulations. And there is one more rule, that is you should not share any high scoring notebooks 1 week before the competition, which is also one more rule which is recently released. So please read the rules and carefully so that you don't violate any of them, and so you can have a smooth Kaggle journey. And so this is about getting started with Kaggle and how to progress your way up through the Kaggle. And if you did not understand anything which I said now, please don't worry. Click on the more option. There is an option for documentation where you click on the document anything or for notebooks, documentation, competitions, or data sets. If you click on the documentations, detailed instructions is given which will help you get started. So Kaggle has already a very good documentation in place to help you get started. So this is about getting started with Kaggle and stuff. The few more things which I would like to comment on is about the internships and the projects and resumes. And if you take about projects, a lot of interns who are working in they're currently looking for internship. One common mistake which I do see is they put very basic projects like Titanic, house price regression as projects in their resume. See, don't put such basic projects. Put something which you have uniquely tried, which will differentiate you from the others. So take a real world data set, solve it, and differentiate yourself from the others. You can. There are a lot of government officers which are there, which has huge amount of data, but they don't have any data scientists to work. So you can go and volunteer yourself for the local police station or the local IAS officer, whatever collectorate office or the mayor office, or any even your university professors or your university management. Ask them if they might have huge amount of data but they are not able to visualize and get insights out of it or solve basic problems. There are a lot of problems in Mysore. There was one lake which was like contaminated and polluted, so they wanted to find out which part of the lake is highly polluted. So they use sensors inside the lake to collect the data, and they use machine learning to solve that problem as well. So there are a lot of problems like this which you can solve using machine learning. And so volunteer at government organizations, solve a real world problem, and then put that in your resume. That might add a lot of value to your thing instead of like putting Titanic, MNIC data set and all that. The second thing which I would also like to tell you is there are a lot of people who are trying for internships right now. Rejection, even if you're very highly skilled, sometimes there might be only one position or two position. That position will be like filled by somebody who's recommended from an existing employee or thing. So if you get rejected, that doesn't mean you're not qualified. It just means it could be a lot of reasons, whether that position might be influenced by some other candidate, or there could be a lot of other reasons as well. And there's huge number of applications coming for a single vacancy. Like one vacancy, there are like 400 500 people applying. So it doesn't mean rejection, doesn't mean you're not good enough. So you should not be disheartened when you get rejections. Rejections are very common, and you should be very strong enough and persistent in trying for internships. And the next thing is you do register. A lot of people come and ask for jobs and internships, and I ask them, have you registered in the common website, job websites? They say no. First do that, go and register, find out all the job listing websites, register, create an account and upload your data, upload your resume as well. LinkedIn has got amazing job listings as well. Make use of all this. Once you've done all this, and if you are still not getting selected, then you can reach out to the startup founders for job openings and all that. And this is about the mindset. So success is something, success is not magic, or anybody can be successful, provided the mantra for success is working hard over a period of time. So hard work over a period of time, consistently working hard, and not giving up when you face failures. That is very important. So these are some of the things which I would like to share. Give me a minute. So 1 minute. So these are some of the things which I would like to, say before I wind up the session. With this, we have come to the end of the session, Kaggle 101. Hope you've all created an account and become a contributor. Looking forward to see a lot of grandmasters from your class and batch. Wishing you all the very best. And similar to GitHub, Kaggle will, by this year end, Kaggle will be extensively used for data science hiring. So it's important you build a strong profile in Kaggle and become expert and progress to the other levels like masters and grandmasters. And best wishes for all of your dreams. And with this, I'll open up for questions. If there are any questions, you can ask in the chat window.
Guys, if you're having any queries, you can put it up in the chat section.
Guys, if there is any doubt, then you can write it on chat box.
You have related to data science internships. Is my voice audible, ma'am?
Yeah, your voice is audible.
Yeah, ma'am. So if you have any doubt related to internships or about not just about Kaggle competition, you're like anything related to data science. Okay, ma'am, we have our first doubt. I think you can take it up now.
Like medical images such as X-ray images for data set creation. See, for X-ray images, there are already lots and lots of public images directly. I think Stanford University, and there are like more than some 1,000 public data sets for X-ray images. Especially after COVID came, like the number from 1,000 it increased 1,000. So there are a lot of public benchmark data sets for X-ray images. So I would first recommend go and check all those 10,000 public image data sets to see if you are already having what you want. Just in case if you're not finding the right kind of data sets among the 10,000 data sets available, then the only way you create X-ray data set is to team up with a medical clinic or hospital and explain them and get into an agreement with them, and you will have to collect the patient data. That is the one option available. But I'll give you a list of links for the publicly available data sets. Again, I've put it in Kaggle only. And there is one post which I had done, and I think so the competitions, if you go to completed, see, chest X-ray data sets compilation. I myself have did this compilation. So there's a list of all public data sets for X-rays which you can use it. So I have written few of the famous benchmark data sets, but there are more than 10,000 to 20,000 public data sets available. So first go through these public data sets and see if you are able to find the exact data set which you are looking for. If you feel none of the public data sets meets your requirement, then the other way is to collect the data by going to a clinical organization, explaining them your use case, and making them agree to your data collection process. And so that's a huge step, and it might take a very very long time. And if you have a very the use case which you want to try it out immediately, then I would recommend using the public data sets. I've shared a link in the chat window which contains a collection of famous public benchmark data set for chest X-rays. I was particularly trying to develop a fracture data sets and localize the fracture with certain segmentation and work further in the direction. I think if you just do a search in Kaggle as 100,000 data sets, if you just search in Kaggle first, and there is a high likelihood that you might get the exact data set which you're looking for. Just in case if you don't find it in Kaggle, there are a lot of researchers across the globe will be working on the same problem. One thing is the researchers will give the data sets free for research. Only for commercial purposes they'll not give. So they would put their email ID on their website. You can just mail them and explain them that you are only going to use it for research and not commercial purposes. Then they'll give access to the research data. So there's a high probability some other researcher will also be working on the same problem and they would have already collected the data. But mostly generally the research data shouldn't be used for commercial purposes, so the researchers will not give you the access if you're using it for commercial purposes. But if it's for educational purpose, then you can write to them, explain your use case, and they will definitely give you access. Because even I'm searching for autism related data sets, and there are a lot of researchers across the world who have made their data set private, but you can write to them and asking for the dataset access. So that is one option available for you. When it comes for Kaggle competitions, the scenario is very competitive and usually the leaderboards are overfitted. How can we still become good under such conditions? This is very good question. So if you the overfitting is something which is very very common in Kaggle. So example, even this Friday there was one competition which got over, which is Pet Finder competition. And if you see the Pet Finder leaderboard, and you'll be able to see this is in the gold zone itself. There is a jump to 74 positions, and there are people who got gold by jumping 403 positions, and somebody got gold jumping 178 positions and all. So the shake-up is something which is very synonymous with Kaggle. Shake-up is very frequent with Kaggle. So you need to focus on your cross validation score, and you need to work hard on your cross validation strategy based on the use case which you have. Choose, trust your CV score than your leaderboard score, because shake-up is very common in most of the competitions. And when you see in the discussion forum, there will be a post called shake-up or not. There will be a post whenever most of the competition, somebody or the other will put that post, shake-up or not post. Watch out for the or you, if there is no post, you can create one post like that. If you want to know if there will be a shake-up, see shake-up or not post is there. And there will be this just one single line shake-up or not, and immediately people will say their insights. So here one Kaggle master has said, I think there will be a big shake-up. So there was a big shake-up, but he has predicted it and his prediction was right. So most of the competition, you just, if you want to know if there will be a shake-up or not, just create a post, and all the tagglers in that competition will come and reply to you what they think about if the shakeup will be out there. Most of the time they'll tell you the truth if there's going to be a shakeup or not. Based on some statistical analysis, they'll tell you. Based on that, you can be careful and generally trust your CV and not get carried away by the leaderboard score. This is my advice for dealing with shakeups in Kaggle competitions. How can we pursue higher studies in the field of AI and ML? So, two things. Once you want to do higher studies by traveling to a different country like US, Canada, and Australia, there are a lot of universities out there, very good universities. The examinations, check out their eligibility criteria, what examinations they want, whether it's GRE or TOEFL or whatever your academic scores, and meet those requirements and apply for them. That is one option. Or if you do not want to travel outside but still want to study in the foreign university, Coursera has got a lot of masters in data science program from very top universities, where you can just pay and sit at your home. You can also be in a full-time job, take your masters in data science or artificial intelligence from your home, and that will save you a lot of living expenses and all that. That is also an option. Or if you want to study in Indian universities, there are a lot of certifications and PG diploma programs with a lot of top universities like IIT Bombay, IIT. You have a lot of IITs offering data science diploma programs. You can also look out for that. Or most of the engineering colleges, top engineering colleges have MTech programs focused on data science. So find out the ranking of the universities and target getting into top 10 universities in India if you're preferring to get into data science universities within India, or even for global university, check out the ranking based on its shortlist some 15 to 20 universities and apply for 5 of them in that. And it's good to always call if you've shortlisted some university, and if you it's always good to get feedback from the alumni who have just passed out. Just reach out to them through LinkedIn and just ask them how was the course, is it worth joining the course, and did they get placed or not. You can just check with the alumni who have passed out. So this is my general advice if you want to get started with masters and data science focused program. There are plenty of programs from top university. Do your analysis, shortlist 20 or 15 of them. In that, choose 5 of them. Speak to the alumni, speak to the professors, find out if it's something suited for you. Whether it's India or abroad, you can take a call. There are a lot of options now, whether you can study in a very top foreign university, being in India also. But if you feel after studying your masters you want to work in US or Canada, then it's prefer better you travel to that country and study there. That way you will get work visa as well. And do you have any openings for working on medical data sets for diagnosis and prognosis treatment? See, I have an opening for TensorFlow, which is for computer vision, but the candidates which I'm looking for should be extremely good in object detection, computer vision, and TensorFlow. I'll be giving a small assignment to test people out, and if you clear that first round, then I can hire you. But you have to be not for medical diagnosis, it's for like object detection for government sector. So it is something which I'll be, if you clear the interview I can be taking, but I want somebody who's very very strong in TensorFlow, advanced TensorFlow and computer vision. If you satisfy the criteria, you can reach out to me. I'll be creating one more notebook for the Women in Data Science competition next week. So don't forget to follow me on Kaggle, and so you'll be notified of the competition. I've also prepared a video tutorial for the Women in Data Science competition, which you can find in my YouTube channel. So this is a competition which do not contribute anything at all, just zero contributions, and for the sake. So if you want to a video to help you understand the Women in Data Science competition better, I've shared a video as well. I'll be preparing a video for this particular notebook, which I shared with you. I'll be preparing a video by tomorrow, and I'll share that video as well. Keras pre-processing layer. I'll be adding some more concepts, like I've explained custom loss functions, how to create custom layers, and I'll be adding all those content as well. I'll be adding some more diagrams for even beginners to understand it easily. I'll be adding some more diagrams, and I'll be expanding on the content. Once I finish the complete content, I'll prepare a video similar to how I prepared for BITS Datathon. I'll prepare another video. I'll share it with Priyanka. Priyanka will be able to mail you all. And next week, I'll also be implementing a research paper for the Women in Data Science competition. It's a good competition encouraging diversity in data science. So I would highly recommend all of you getting started. It is open to men as well. But the thing is, you should team up with a woman to participate. You have cash prizes worth $25,000, not 25,000 Indian rupees, $25,000. And imagine you just win the first place, you will be highlighted by Stanford University. It's a prestigious and very great options, and you'll get into a limelight in a short span of time. So team up with your friends to participate. You have 2 months time as well. And this is a tutorial which is targeted for BITS, and I'll prepare a video content for this, and I'll also write one more research paper implementation, write video as well. I'll share it with Priyanka, and she'll be able to share it with you all. And so best wishes for the competitions with GDSC of your university is handling. Best wishes for that as well.
So much, ma'am. Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am. Basically, I would just like to hear it from you about your journey into data science. Like it will surely motivate all of us to proceed in this further.
Yeah, sure. The journey into data science. So primarily after completing my graduation, I started out in the investment banking sector. I was working a lot with the investment banking, creating products for them, and financial risk management and all that. So majority of my early career was into finance and economics. So I thought the best career move would be to take up CFA, Chartered Financial. I wanted to clear the CFA and become a CFA charter. If you clear CFA charter, there are very not many people who would CFA charter, so it's like prestigious and people will look up to you as well. And so I wanted to do that, and I took a short break because level 2, level 3, it has 3 levels, and level 3 and level 2 are difficult as well. Working and studying might be a little hectic, so I'd just taken a short break from work and I was working on my exams. And so I did not start out to become a data scientist at all. So my aim was to become very successful in financial world. So majority of the courses which I had taken, all my work will be in finance, the majority of the work. So that's when I was the Coursera also, I was taking some courses related to finance. And I was also, that time the data science was a buzzword which was like all over data science. I was thinking, what is data science? Let me just, out of passion and curiosity, I started doing some data science courses as well. So one thing, if you notice, for investment banking, financial risk management, you will have to be very strong with probability and statistics. For
Yeah.
data science as well, you have to be very strong with probability and statistics. So I was very strong with mathematics already, and the only extra thing I had to learn was linear algebra. That too, I had learned it in my university. I just had to brush it up, and I was very picking up lot of courses, very interesting courses from Coursera, and then I got an opportunity from early stage startup. They were building AI based algorithmic trading systems. And so the startup wanted somebody who understands finance. Finance is a very difficult domain in the sense, like, see, it's a critical domain. You are
Yes,
dealing with
ma'am.
billions of dollars. So if you just lose money with some crappy system you build, and you are going to lose billions and millions of dollars. So you have to be very careful. They wanted somebody who was very strong in finance, and they also wanted somebody who was very strong in data science. So that was my first data science project. I took it up as part time. That's how my data science career started. And I thought I'll just do this project, then get back to being in finance domain only. But that did not happen. I just got pulled away to data science domain. I started getting involved with a lot of communities. I started leading around 8 communities. One is women
Yes,
in
ma'am.
machine learning. You're not able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm able to hear you.
So I started doing leading lot of communities, and that's how my journey got started. And I became a day. One thing about data science is you have a lot of opportunities for consulting. So currently, I'm working in a project where one of the intern is a 11th standard student. So unless you don't have to complete your degree to work as a consultant for data science. So you have 11th standard kid who is, there are other 15-year-old kids who are already earning lakhs, and that kid had already won 8 lakhs rupees in Kaggle. He's just 11th standard student. So there are a lot of students who are being interns, and that person also interned at Nvidia, and he is earning lakhs and rupees. So there is no age bar. So being a student, and you can start earning provided you're very strong in your skills. And so you have lot of startups now. That pandemic era has started, they no longer want you to sit in the office, they no longer want you to be physically present in their country. If you are very persistent, you can start looking for opportunities online, and there are a lot of remote jobs available. I know a lot of people in my connections who are in India, students who are doing first year and second year, but very very strong in whatever, whether it's NLP, they're very strong in NLP. If they are in computer vision, whatever domain they have chosen, they're very very strong in it. They're working for a lot of multinational companies outside India. They're earning a lot. And so age is no more a restriction. You can start consulting right away. So this is one opportunity in data science compared to other domains, which will make your career graph, very fast. Being a student itself, you can start your career. So data science that way was something which interested me, and I'm also very interested in neurodiversity and all. So data science has a lot of scope and benefits which you can help the neurodiverse people as well. So these are some of the factors which kept me in data science. And I've been very lucky and to get the fortunate to get the right things at the right time. And so this has been my career, and I'm working for very very interesting startups. And I'm also like involved with a startup which is an early stage startup in blockchain. So we'll be making the announcement shortly by March and April. And so this is what this is how it started. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Like it was basically your passion, which kind of helped you achieve this much, and like we all aspire to achieve all the things you have. It's been a year that I have been start. I have started machine learning. It have been a year like that, and after Shingy, all we are also able to aim like that. Yeah, someday we will also be able to do such things, like with all the way you all are contributing to the community. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Priyanka, and thank you so much for organizing for the benefit of GDSC community. You're doing a great community contribution to help others also achieve their dreams, which is something which I highly appreciate. Getting involved in community is very very crucial for your success. So if I break down my career, and if I had not been involved with the community, the first thing, I'll not be in data science itself. So the only thing which kept me in data science and not going back to finance was my community involvement. So communities are very very important, and I got the right opportunities at the right time. It is because of the communities are very very powerful. It's good you're all part of GDSC. Google Developers Group is a very strong community spread across multiple states. And networking is the key. So if you want to get the right internship at the right company, use your networking skills. So being involved with community and networking is something which will play a huge role in any of your careers. So make the best use of those two things. And best
Yes,
wishes to Priyanka and the entire team. Of best wishes for all your events throughout the year.
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much,
ma'am.
ma'am.
We will. Yes, ma'am. We'll keep on giving to community, and we'll try to improvise ourselves also. We'll also keep in mind all the points you have said, like about the networking and being part of the community. We'll be giving our best so that we could, like as a community, we could also contribute something to machine learning and data science.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, best wishes. Yeah.
And ma'am, we will also be hoping to see you again, maybe this year or
Yeah,
next year for another session because
yeah,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
it's been just a really great hour for us.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to give another session as well, and mostly in TensorFlow, specific to machine learning, some advanced and intermediate sessions. I would definitely love to do it. And best
Mm.
wishes for the hackathon which you're organizing in Kergil as well. Yeah, so best wishes to that as well. Are you
Thank you
getting
so much,
swags
ma'am.
from the TensorFlow team or for the first
Ma'am,
event?
basically, Google Developers Club is actually helping us with this. So, yeah.
So you're getting it, then it's
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
So yeah, you will get for the first three winners. I think you're going to get
Exactly,
swags.
ma'am. That's the plan.
Yeah, sure, good, best wishes for it.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you
And
so
the
much, ma'am.
host also will get swags. So organize a lot of competition. I think three hosts will get swags. I think you have very nice swags like the jacket and all, and there are two, three other things which I saw. I just got the pamphlet. So you have very nice things. So organize a lot of events like this, which might benefit you as well and the community as well.
Yes, ma'am. Surely, ma'am. Thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule and letting all of us know about, like, from the you started from the scratch. You started how we could get started with Kaggle for a beginner. Like we how you taught us how one can start as a contributor and how he can then move towards being an expert. Then you told about the participation of women in data science, about that women in data science hackathon. Then you also told us like how can we uh, use our networking skills and how can we be benefited by being part of this community. And finally you are still inspiring us to be involved in this community. And this is somehow helping us. It will help us to do more and more, all those words which you spoke now. It will really help us keep going. Thank you so much, ma'am, for. everything.
Thank you so much, Priyanka and Suryanshu. It's my pleasure to be part of this event, and I had a great time interacting with you all. Best wishes to all of you to achieve all your dreams, and Happy New Year 2022. I come from Chennai, so we call Happy Pongal. This is a Pongal holidays time as well. So Happy Pongal, or based on the state which you are in, I think it has a different name. So happy festival, whatever festival you're celebrating, and enjoy your holidays and enjoy the hackathon which is being organized as well. Best wishes to all of it.
Thank you so much,
Same
ma'am.
to you, ma'am. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Can I log out now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I guess we don't have any more doubts left over. So
Yeah, sure. I'm logging out now. Yeah.
thank you again, ma'am. Thank you so much. So yeah, guys, that's so this was all about the speaker session today. So I guess we could move towards the competition, launching of competition part.
Okay, so just before we start that, like, just a general query to you guys. How was today's session? Just you can write it in chat, your feelings.
Hey guys, the chat box is all yours. You can like tell us how, like you can give the honest feedback, like how was the
Yeah.
whole 3 days event. We have been like trying a lot, and yes, Shuryanshu Bhaiya is our DSML lead.
We,
Okay,
okay,
so we have
so
replies.
I guess means you guys must be. We did tell you at the initial stages that you'll be getting a competition and the winners will be getting swags. So yeah, now Priyanka will be explaining to you basically how to take part in the Kaggle competition. You already learned how to work around Kaggle, so I guess it should not be an issue for you to get started. After that, the winners, based on the leaderboard, will be receiving T-shirts and other swags, which will be disclosing that at the end of the competition. So Priyanka, can you just explain about the
Yeah.
competition to this?
Lakshman, can you give me the link of the competition? Can you paste it in the chat box?
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, let me share my screen also. Just give me a second. So yeah, I guess Lakshman, have you given the link of the competition in the chat box? I guess let me. Okay, fine. Yeah, so you can just click on the link given in the chat box, and then you will be redirected to the competition. So let me just share my screen. My screen is visible, I guess. Yeah, it's visible. So yeah, this is our competition. You can just go there by clicking on the link. So basically, we have provided you with the overview, and this is mainly the healthcare. You have to like do the prediction of healthcare coverage, and you have to you have to make sure that you utilize all the things we have taught to you in the last 2 days. You can just Google, and you can try to refer other resources so that you can like find the solution to it. So moving, if you'll be moving to this data part, we have provided you with 3 files, that is the train test and CSV file. and the further data description is given over here about all the details of all the columns and which one is our target variable.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not able to find it. Give us a second. Okay, yeah, you won't be able to access it right now. The competition will be going like live at 7. So yeah.
Okay, fine. You guys can check it at 7 o'clock. Now
Just keep
I'm
the link with
sharing.
you. So yeah.
Yeah. If possible, we will also be mailing you about all the details. So you guys can see it from my screen.
You can check it right now. Like we just changed it since the means yeah, you can check it now. It should be available right now. Can someone just confirm if you are able to access the link? Okay, great. Yeah. So yeah, Priyanka, you can continue.
Okay. So this is basically the competition we have launched. You will be getting the overview over here. And this is basically the healthcare coverage prediction data set. So the details of all the about the data is given over here. We have provided you with 3 files: train, test, and sample. And then there is data description part, which tells us about all the columns and the target variable. So you can find the data sets from here, the CSV files over here, and you can download them, and you can then move further. Um, move further, like try solving them, uh, try to find out the solution, and then you can upload it. The solution is like the challenge is live for 2 days. It will be over at 12 o'clock of 8, like 11:59 p.m. of 18. So I guess you have more than 48 hours, and that's more than enough, and you can team up, make teams with and the maximum team number is 2. So I guess you can move to this role section over here. And yeah, after the results, like after the competition is over, you can move over to the leaderboard. We have also updated the baseline score over here, so you can check it up over here. So
By
yeah,
tonight,
that's
we'll also be launching a baseline notebook, so you can actually start. If you have any confusion, you can start from the code. You can focus the notebook and get started. So yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to like think from scratch right now.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah,
Actually,
Lakshman.
this is a regression type of problem. You can solve it using machine learning or deep learning, that is often used. And in leaderboard section, the baseline score is we had created a dummy model, and the score is based on that model. So basically, your work is to improvise this score, and we'll updating a notebook we have created, and your work is to improvise that notebook and get better accuracy. So based on your performance, we'll giving you the goodies, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's a, like as Lakman said, it's going to be a regression problem. So we like covered machine learning and deep learning throughout these 2 days. You guys can go for anything you want. You can go for both of them as well. But what's your aim should be is it should be to improvise your accuracy. We'll be updating with the baseline notebook. You can try improving your score. Like this is the baseline score, and yeah, the ones who will be like in the top of the leaderboard will be the ones who will be getting the goodies. So
In
yeah,
the
that's it.
in this 2 days event, we have covered the logistic regression, actually binary classification part, but we have give you enough idea about this regression type of problem. So if you have any doubts, then you can ask us, any of us, regarding this regression type of problem, right? So shall we close?
So yeah, like in case you want to reach us, you can reach us individually or through our mails to you. Already have the GDSC email with you. So in case of any confusion, you can mail us or you can reach to us over LinkedIn. So yep, and all
Yeah,
the best for the
so
competition, guys.
we'll be like more than happy to help you out with any queries. So yeah, that's it for today. I guess if you don't have any further queries, we'll be ending the session now. So yeah, thank you for attending. Like you guys have been working for the last 2 days and today also you got the chance to, how many times can we update our notebook? Is there any limitation?
Well, yeah, let me answer this. So basically, you can submit 20 predictions a day, and there's no limitation to how many times you want to like change your notebook. You can do it unlimited times, but the number of submissions per day is limited to 20. So I guess
And
this clears it out.
and solution would be should be like in we have updated a sample solution output in that format. It would be.
Yeah, your submissions should follow the sample submission format. So just be wary of that. So Arnit, like, can you just confirm if it solves it out? Cool.
Are you guys
How,
having any more doubts?
how many times can we update our notebook? Is there any limitations?
Yeah.
I 20 times, right? So answer why?
Yeah, the notebook updation can be done unlimited times. No issue on that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
do
I
you
guess
guys have?
let's wrap up here.
Okay, fine. So it seems that you guys are not having any more doubts. But if you if you face any problem later on, you can contact any one of us. We'll be more than happy to help you. You can also mail our community, that is GDAC. So yeah, that's it for today. The last 3 days, like the last 2 days and today, these 3 days have been the best days, and you guys literally did a lot of efforts. You put in a lot of efforts. You started learning machine learning from the scratch. Then we moved to deep learning. We learned about data ingestion, and like today's session, we learned about whatever ma'am told, about networking, about the data science field, about how to get started with Kaggle and how we can use it to boost our career. So yeah, that's it. It was like a pretty good journey, and it was all possible for you guys. So thank you for everything. Thank you for attending this, and thank you for being with us till then. Wishing you all the best for the competition, and yeah, keep making the machines learn.